All right, there you are.
Mr. Dalton,
How's it going, Albert?
you know, I'm here looking at the market again and seeing what's going to happen. Stevie said today the market's going to gap up, so I knew it was going to go up too. It's pretty positive.
Yeah,
So, I'm looking at everything, see what's going to happen.
yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. You're always looking at the market.
I know, man. I people say I don't sleep. I probably don't. I don't know.
Yeah, well, thanks for agreeing to, just set aside a little bit of time to, go
Definitely.
through an interview for the YouTube channel and, um, just to kind of share some of your wisdom. And I know a lot of people will benefit. Um, so, just to kind of get started. So, Albert and I actually go back pretty far before either one of us knew anything about trading. We were actually playing in the church band together, and Albert's a really great bass player. And then not too long ago, got reconnected through trading, and I saw some of the results Albert was having, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, man, whatever I'm doing, I just need to do what this guy's doing. So Albert, absolutely kills it every single day. We're in a pretty tight knit chat room of traders, and he's always posting his profits every day, and it's just like unbelievable, for most of us in the room. You're just like, oh my gosh, Albert. And it's like every single day you're just absolutely killing it. Never seem to never have a bad day.
Yeah, I got a lot of help, man. I mean, throughout the years. So, it's not just me. I can't take all the credit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's what I kind of wanted to get into is, I guess, uh, as much as you'd like to share, you got kind of tell everyone, how you got into trading initially. I know you had the construction business and everything, and I guess kind of retired from that now, but, how did you learn about trading and get into it?
Yeah, well, I got into trading because not by choice. I had a construction company and it was doing really good, and I love construction. But it came to a point in my life where I got sick. I had suffered two brain aneurysms, and then from back to back, and then that put me out for a year and a half or so. And then right after that, I was getting better. I got diagnosed with cancer, so I had to go a few months of chemotherapy and radiation. So that really took a toll on my health. So I just looked at everything. I started saying, you know what, I need to start just selling all this equipment and things, because I had a brother that my brother Orlando started. He had been trading for a while, and he was doing futures, and he would tell me over the years, hey, you need to look at this. But I just didn't have the time, of course, trying to run a business. And so I kind of was forced into it when I was recovering. I said, I need to start looking at something, and the trading seemed like a good idea. It's the best decision I've ever made, brother, man.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. And I remember, because I remember a couple years ago when you had, I guess it was the first brain aneurysm, and that was an intense time. You had like a miraculous recovery, it seemed like. And then, yeah, that's just incredible that you went through those times, but you were able to come out of it. And then I guess, yeah, like you said, kind of forced you into a career change, really. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It truly did. And it was something, you know, it was a really tough time for me. So I needed to do something that could be, that I could make a little bit of money, and I knew I probably would have to study the markets and stuff, and I had to, but it didn't take so long per se. Um,
Yeah.
it just started a little bit at a time, a little bit of investments at a time, and it started to multiply over time. And I always say that cash follows knowledge, man. The more you learn about the market, just the more God is going to bless you.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And it seems that way. Like now, when we're in the chat room and we look at
Mhm.
it's just like, it's like you're killing it every day. But what were some of those challenges maybe you faced in the beginning some of the things you had to overcome in order to, get to a place where you had consistency.
Yeah, that definitely. Um, um, in trading, you have to be patient. The trades sometimes need some time to develop, and believe me, I've had to work on that because I would see something go down a few ticks or a few dollars, and I would just freak out to get out of the trade. And I've lost a lot of money like that. I didn't. I didn't. I wasn't waiting on the trades to develop because you're never going to get the perfect entry on a trade. I mean, you try, of course,
Right.
you want to have high consistency and things, but it's not going to be perfect per se. So if you know you're in a good trade and you're seeing all your charts, and charts always repeat, the patterns always repeat, and you know you're in a good pattern, you should have a good outcome. But the patience is one of the things that I really, and I'm still every day working on it, talking to myself when if I'm on a trade and it's going sideways or something. If you're not sure of a trade, of course, you can always get out before you're in a process where you're losing so much money or something. So if you're not sure, I usually don't do those type of trades. If I'm not sure, man, I don't take it anymore. I used to when I started, I just didn't know. But definitely one of the key.
That is, and I've noticed that too, because even for myself, I was doing option spreads, credit spreads, and that's a bit different of a trading style than you introduced me to futures, and that's pretty much what I've been focused on myself. And one thing I noticed right off the bat is like, because it seems like almost like every candle is an opportunity, that there's such an easy, like you could easily just overtrade and just like burn through, like a lot of money real quick if you're not careful. And so definitely just like having to see all that opportunity, but then also just be able to relax and just sit back and be patient for the right setup. That's what I noticed right away. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, man. I'm sure an option for a time to kind of wait, you're waiting a couple of weeks maybe for something to mature.
Yeah.
So that's something that kind of also, I don't know if I could do that because look, 5 minutes for me, it seems like an eternity sometimes.
Yeah.
I applaud you for that, man, because you're very well prepared too. Also, you do a really good job, and it just takes a minute, really it takes time to learn everything. So
it definitely, takes some getting used to, and mostly, like you said, like, it sounds like a lot of the things that really off the bat, like when you're talking about patience and everything, it comes back to you as a person, not so much the market. Like the market is there, and like it's just you have to train yourself on how to respond to it.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's mostly like if it's not working for you, then maybe it's some type of like character trait or like something that you have to get better at to be a better trader.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So like along with that, what do you think was maybe like a turning point for you when you started getting like consistency, like every day you were making money? Was there anything that was kind of like a turning point?
Yeah. With the patients, I believe you start to develop some discipline because to follow what you've been taught or what you've been seeing and what what's a good pattern or good candles. Sometimes it may look like it's a good trade, but there's something off. So it took discipline also to say, wait a minute, these 5 things, let's say the RSI, the relative strength indicator, or the MACD, or if something's not something's off, the moving averages, exponential moving averages, whatever you're looking at, volume, whatever, there's so many things, right? If something is not right on the trade, I would take the trade and lose money. So I think the discipline too, if you can just do the simple trades first, and the most profitable trades, and just stick to that, and don't worry about the chop, or don't worry if a trade takes off on you chasing it. And there's so many things that I was doing wrong. there's several guys that sewed into me and that I've met, and amazing traders themselves. I've been doing it for 40 years. Stephen Kalajian is one of the guys.
Yeah.
Amazing guy, down to earth. He wears, jeans and a button-up shirt, but he is very knowledgeable of the market. And I really had to just be mentored by somebody, and you'd be surprised how all that comes out. I mean, you just know when it's the right trade, but discipline is a major factor to be consistent and start small. Look, if you could do $20 a day consistently, it's great. If you start to know more about the market, money follows knowledge. Next thing you know, you're doing 100. It will surprise you, man. 100 a day, that is not bad. Plus, some guys are working and things like that. Then it turns to 200 a day, and then it really starts to snowball kind of thing. So man, yeah, the discipline is I believe it's pretty important too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is great. Everything you just said. Like, anyone that's watching this, I would encourage you just to like rewind that section right there, because that was great. I mean, you mentioned also like having mentors, and that really helped you, and basically just kind of following their lead until you kind of get it. And you mentioned like if something's not right, so you're looking at, if you want to take a trade, you want to make sure, like, not just one thing looks good, but like 3, 4, or 5 things, like check the box, right?
Yes. I mean, you're absolutely correct. Behind me, I have a chart of one of my mentors, Stephen Kalajian. His method is really amazing, and he's come up with. It took him 8 years to develop this method and these charts, and they, these algorithms. He's got a MACD, or relative strength indicator, and he's got his algos, and it just, if you start studying and start knowing what patterns are the most profitable, and you just wait on some of those patterns to develop, I tell you, you can make some serious money for yourself. And then once you do the basics out of the way, then you start learning. I call a little bit of more difficult patterns to be able to pick out. And then you start getting those under your belt, and you have 3, 4, 5 different things you're looking at, and hey, if these don't line up, I'm not taking the trade. Because if you don't take, it's okay, because there's 60 trades during the day that you can do. So if you miss a trade, it's not a big deal. But I used to chase those trades, and it will kill me, man.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah, I got caught a couple weeks ago doing that, just chasing. Like, I had missed it, and it was like such a good short. The market was really moving, but then it was over, and then I was trying to still chase it. So yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, man. And I'm sure we all walked through something like that before, so
that is awesome. Yeah, so that's a good tip, like for anyone that wants to like learn from you, and is like having maybe even a checklist of like everything that you want to line up in order for you to take a trade. And
you're absolutely right. And I always tell guys that one of the easiest trades to do, it's an up trade. I'm going to put the camera over here on TV.
Oh, okay.
Like right now, I don't know if you can see that or not.
Show us some real technique. Here,
I don't know if you can see this. It's an oversold condition on a RSI, and the MACD's pointing down, but this market's very positive. So this trade here, I would tell the guys, you can take a trade against that, because the market's very positive. You're probably going to get an upturn here just for a snipe trade, but it can go from 3. It can go from 3, maybe it can go, 10 handles. It can go 20. I mean, it can go right back to the high because the market's really positive. So it can, a setup like that, most of the time you're going to bounce up. Oh.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a call here. Did I lose you, buddy?
No,
Okay.
yeah, there you are.
Okay. I got a call through Zoom from my son. So he's,
Oh,
you know,
okay. No, but
yeah.
that was great what you were just showing us. So yeah, so essentially you're looking at
Yeah.
the overall trend is going up, but now
Yeah.
in this short term you have a dip that's being oversold. So we can predict, there's a high probability, in other words, that it's going to go back up since the overall trend is up.
Yes, if you know to see, I point with my finger. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's an oversold condition on the NASDAQ. It went from even, let me put on my glasses because I'm like,
Yeah.
it went from 97-ish or so, and it's at 07, almost 10. So it gave you 10 handles on that. You know, you a couple contracts on that's a couple $100. You know, literally 10 seconds worth of trade. You know, so if you just wait on the right, and there it is, it's right now, it's at, I believe it's at, oh, so 10, there's 10, 11, so 15, you know, 12, 15 handles you can get off the trade like that. And that's pretty good. That's pretty amazing. So if you just keep it simple at first and you just wait for that whole trade, you could have gotten in here before, but there it is, dip down, and now you're minus and you're trying to catch up. But if you just would have waited on that one trade for the night, you could have done well, went to sleep with a couple $100 in your pocket, tried again tomorrow for the next oversold condition on a positive market. And on Steve's, it shows you too, the 5 minute here went to teens, single digits better on a MACD that's positive over the pivot. I don't know if you can see all this. That's telling me that trade would have been a great trade to take because everything's pretty positive still, you know?
Right.
So yeah, man. Now, you know, you have to do it quickly because it can turn down and go down again, but at least to give you, you know, 12, 15 handles and you roll up your stop, it gets you out and you're good. And you wait for the next one to develop or whatever.
Right. That is awesome. Man, that's really great advice there, and just showing us like what you're looking at on the charts. Cause yeah, it's like you're saying, you just wait for that right setup and you take it. And like I like what you said, that it could just be one good trade for the whole night or the whole day. And that could be enough. Like no reason to sit around and take more trades. Like you can make more than you would, you know, in a job all day just off that one.
Yeah, off of that one trade, because that's a couple dollars. And hey, you could, it's not a problem to have a full-time job and be at a desk and things and make that much money during the day. That's not a problem whatsoever. But it just shows you that, hey, this can be an alternative in the future for someone that wants to make a career change, and a couple $100 in your pocket every night or every day, you know, can provide different things for your family, for different needs. So it's pretty powerful, man. It's pretty powerful, you know. And all the guys, you know, you, Dalton, you're doing good, and all the guys that are getting involved, and it's just an amazing thing because it wasn't planned, man. It was like all of us just kind of like came together because we heard this, we heard that, or whatever. We came together, and it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is amazing, and you're doing a really good job as well. You know, you're kind of like spearheading this group that we're in, and getting a lot of people involved that you know, and they're learning from you and seeing, you know, and then you're there posting your progress, so that it's like inspiration. I know for me, it's inspiration every day to like keep working hard, you know, and just keep at it. And so, and then we're getting involved with you know, other mentors as well, to learn more things, you know, as together as a group, we're kind of all sharing the same thing. So that's really good.
That definitely.
Yeah. And so, you know, I look at, you know, anyone that would look at you and look at, you know, the results that you have every day would probably say that, you know, you're like a trader that has like really made it, you know, but is there any challenges currently that you're facing, any areas that you're trying to even still, you know, overcome or improve?
Yeah, that definitely. I say, it doesn't matter where you are in your career when it comes to trading or in any career. I always compare to like music. You always can learn, and I'm always telling myself, hey, no matter where anyone is or where I am, I'm open to ideas. I'm open to different things or different methods, or because I don't know it all. So
Mm,
I've only been doing this 2 years, let's say, and there's people who's been doing it a long time. So when I hear an idea, you could always turn to simulation, try it, don't try it with real cash, and that really helps too. And sometimes when you're behind on a trade or behind in a day, you had a bad day, hey, turn the computer to sim, trade for a week on sim, and man, it just helps to re-engage and redevelop and go back to basics, that kind of thing.
yeah.
And sometimes we have to do that, and that's a challenge because you want to make your goal every day, you know.
Right.
And I'm not sure why, because we're not racing anyone, but it kind of feels like it sometimes, like you're challenging yourself as men.
Yeah.
We want to kill it every day.
Right.
So when we have a day, and my off days are pretty, hectic sometimes, I just have to walk away and re-engage, maybe do sim, or maybe not even look at it.
Mm,
Maybe go do something else and come back the next day. And that's always been a challenge for me because I want to make it right back. And a lot of times that doesn't happen.
right.
You try to just,
Yeah. And
know,
that's where the patience and the discipline really
yeah,
comes in, because when you're talking about waiting for the right setup, that gets even harder if maybe you just came off a couple bad trades and now you want to make it back. But now you have to have the patience and discipline to wait for that opportunity still,
yes,
otherwise you could just dig yourself further.
yes, because your
Yeah.
emotions get involved. That's another thing. Don't trade it with emotions, but it
Hmm.
gets involved and you're like, no, I'm not gonna stop because I know I can make this back. And sometimes the market's not there. I mean, there have been really positive markets sometimes trending, and I always have been on the wrong side of the trade. I don't know why. I look back and chart and I'm like, how did I miss 4 or 5 trades? Why am I? It's just because it was not your day. I mean, sometimes it's not gonna be your day.
mm,
Sometimes you throw money aboard and it just clicks, man. But
yeah.
sometimes it gets hard. The challenge is to say, you know what, I'm not gonna trade today. If you can do that, it's managing the loss. That's really, like when an investor that works in real estate tells you, how they make money on the purchase. Why they make money on the purchase? Because that dictates how much they're investing.
Mm,
So you sometimes you have to say, you know what's not my day. I'm doing good for the week or for the month. I'm just gonna call it. Just today, I'm gonna go do something else. And
right.
that's it,
Yeah.
man. The next day you're refreshed so many times. My wife has told me, why don't you just stop? And I did, and I lost more. The next day, the market flies, and you could have
Mm,
made everything back and be even and stuff. And here I am trying to skip, trying to make a little bit back at a time because I've lost so much because why I got emotional about it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
So that's really, really good advice.
yeah,
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, and just having that, and yeah, just having that belief, that that opportunity is going to always be there, and you're going to be able to come back, and zooming out too. Yeah, like you said, your week or your month, you know, and you're
yeah,
still doing great. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because it's not every day I used to, oh my God, I lost two, $300, $500 or whatever. Well, in the big picture, that doesn't matter because you are going to have your difficult days. And if you can stop when it's difficult and just walk away, well, you keep it at a minimum. It's not a big deal. Where here, one little trade, you made everything back. Let's say you lost that day, you keep over trading or whatever. And next thing you know, you're down a couple $1,000s. That's hard to get out of. Then you're stressed out, you're depressed. you know,
Hmm.
you're not having a good day. You yell at somebody because, and
Yeah.
that's not good. So all that, believe me, is every day I walk it, every day I said, hey, I don't know it all. I'm going to learn something new. And that's it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, and that's great to hear coming from you, because I know the people in our trading group will know, because they get to see how much you're killing
Yeah.
it every day. But I'll just have everyone, everyone out there who might be watching, just trust when I say that, this is coming from a guy who is, I mean, really is doing like what I dream of, so he is someone that truly is seemingly like just absolutely killing the market every day. But then you hear even him saying the same thing, that we all go through those times where it might be a rough day or whatever, and you just have to like learn how to handle it and come back. So,
Yes.
um, so that's really great. And so you've already kind of touched on this, but I guess, is there anything, I guess, kind of as we wrap up here, just anything that you might say to someone who is new to trading, or maybe somebody who's just getting into it, or maybe they've been into it but they're kind of struggling, um, anything, just like last words of advice that you might give to them, or maybe even just encouragement on their journey?
Uh, Definitely. Of course, one of the main things that I always tell people is about knowing the Lord, and how He will definitely help you in anything, not just trading. So I always, in the room where a lot of us are Christian, we follow Christ and all that, and I just say, hey, if that's in the right place in your life, paper's nothing to God. Money
Mm.
is nothing to God. You cannot outgive God. And I would say, just try it and see where it gets you. And let me tell you, you will be blessed. The trades come alive. Um, you'll start doing much better. And I always tell people, hey, you know, how's your life first? Because definitely, if you're not successful in life, just basic life, if you're, maybe not be involved in just different things that are not good for you, well, probably trading is going to amplify the negative,
Oh,
because
wow.
no way something positive is going to take care of something so negative. It's up to us to fix those things first, because when you're going to trade and you're dealing with financing, you have to be clear, man.
Mm.
Sometimes I may be thinking about all the problems or whatever, and I come in here and I'm like, you know what? I'm not right. I can't do this. I was having a problem today with Ninja Trader. I got a new computer. I loaded
Yeah.
Ninja coming on, and had to redo Thinkorswim. All my charts have to be redone, because they're saved on the other computer, but not in mine. And so I didn't trade today, like really, like I should have, like I wanted to, but I told the room, you know what? I'm My hands are full. I can't trade today because I'm doing a couple of things. So you won't
Yeah.
see me in the room for a while. And sometimes that's just the best approach, man. You know, it's just the best approach. So, and also there's a lot of people out there that kind of tell you they know about it, or and spend money here and do this and do
Hmm.
that. Well, definitely reach out to people first that that you do your research on, that it is that person that you're speaking to, because there's a lot of companies out there selling packages and this, and you have to really do your research and make sure, hey, this is the right person for me, and reach out to them, and maybe they could be, you don't have to spend a lot of money. There's paper trading, which is like fake money, and you can just start with that. There's free accounts. A lot of brokerages that offer free accounts for that, and very minimal.
Yeah.
Don't go out there and spend a lot of your money first up front, and to get started, because
Right.
total opposite. You know.
Wow. Yeah, wow, that is great. Everything you just covered there. Man, I love that
Yeah.
perspective too, that holistic perspective, even taking it, to having faith, and, having other areas of your life, um, tying together. I think that is huge. That's something that probably doesn't get talked about enough, but
Right.
definitely in a career like trading, um, man, that just makes so much sense. I mean, how everything will line up together, and and yeah, and just also, like you said, finding the right mentors, make sure you're not getting somebody that's just wanting money from you, but really wanting to learn.
Because it's one of the, when you speak about money, right? It's one of the most important tools that there is. Why? Because you provide, you provide for your family that way.
Mm,
All transactions are done with money. So why wouldn't we get educated first to deal with something so important? And some
yeah.
people don't. They think, hey, I'm just going to throw, and it doesn't work that way. You have to really just take your time, seek out people that are really doing it. Um, and there's people around the area. We're pretty close in the area, and
Yeah.
there's many guys that are doing really good.
Oh
And
yeah.
and in New York, I met Steven, down to earth guy. He's killed the market for years, but
Right.
he given his number and say, hey Albert, he's always Albert, call me, and Albert, the Nasdaq's doing this. He's always
Yeah.
yelling my name, kind of funny.
Yeah.
But encourages me, man. The guy's cool and he cares. And there's actual people like that out there that will care enough to, you know, to seek out to you. He'll call me sometimes on Friday night, hey, how you doing? How's your trading? Whatever. And I
Mm,
know that he's busy, man, but he
yeah.
takes time to call. So I have to do the same thing in return and take the time to the guys that I'm around and say, hey, how are you? How's your life? How are you doing with your trading? How the same? Why? Because we just gotta pay it forward,
Yeah.
like mentor all the guys, because and tomorrow we're gonna be the Steven, and we're gonna be the Bob, and we're gonna be these guys, tomorrow. And so it's good to really get educated and know what we're doing, because you're dealing with one of the most important things is a dollar bill. I mean, of course, there's more important things than that, of course, and we know that. But I'm just saying, just speaking about provision.
Hmm.
You know, you have to have some money to survive. So it's a good thing to know, man.
Yeah. That's
Know
amazing.
about,
Yeah. That community is so important, you know,
yeah,
and having traders that know other traders, like yourself and others, we can get together in these groups and support each other. Yeah, that's so, so important, because otherwise it can get really lonely, and, people start dealing with emotions and everything too. And it's so good, pivotal to have that community and mentorship.
yeah, brother. Yes.
That is awesome. Well, I think that's a great spot to end. Again, thank you so
Thank
much
you, man.
for giving some of your time. I know that we're going to put this on YouTube, and this will definitely help a lot of people. And I appreciate you inviting me into your group also, and just helping everyone become better every day. It's really makes a difference, and I know that already. I know me personally, I've already made a ton of progress when it comes to futures, and look forward to continue, and every day trading together.
No problem, Dalton. Anytime, brother. Anytime we need to help you, do whatever you need to do, let us know. And we're here, man. We're just trying to go forward.
Exactly.
You know.
Awesome, Albert. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of
All
your
right.
night.
Okay. I appreciate it, buddy.
All
Take
right.
care.
See ya.